I just want to record this because uh, I want to remember how much fun I had in this game. Steam. See, we're at 161 hours. 161 hours in this game, and it's all been to make this factory. All right, so let's take a look around. Here's my hut. No, getting kind of laggy. Not sure why. Anyway, all right, well, here's my hub. I brought everything kind of indoor-ish. Got to leave the top open so that the thing can fly out, but I got my workbench, my research facility, and my awesome, well, where did I put my awesome shot? I thought I put it here. It's supposed to be here. I'll put, anyway, it's supposed to be there. Let's see, should I talk about the hypertube network? Yeah, I guess we'll talk about the hypertube network first. So hypertubes set up to go everywhere pretty much. We'll start add to the iron factory, which is my first factory that I built. It looks a little different from when I first built it. I encased it in glass. So pretty proud of this factory because I actually wrote everything down on paper before I started building it, or not on paper, but I wrote everything down in my. The first thing I did was I went to these miners. I saw their output was 120 each. I took that 120 each and I figured out how to split it amongst all these smelters. I forget how many there are, but each of these can do 30 per minute. So each miner can support four smelters. So 3 miners, so it's probably 12 smelters. That would make sense. Yeah, 6 on each side, 12 smelters. So got all that divided up. I needed to split that in between a bunch of constructors. You see these constructors use either 15 per minute for rods or um, 30 per minute for the plates. So I did some funky splitting on this row. Well, you don't have to split for the rods, or for the plates. They could go directly, but then for the rods, I did some splitting so that they'd get them the right amount. Yeah. So that was my first factory. Just the iron part. All this. Built some storage. 5 storage containers for each thing. So these should be full plates and rods. Got a bunch of them ready to go whenever I need them. And now I have them outputting to the main factory. The rods get split so that they power this screw factory. This is the screw factory. So these only take 10 rods per minute. So I split off 90 rods per minute. 9 constructors. And all together they make 120 times 3, 360 screws per minute. Combine them back up and send them out to the factory. This used to go directly to an assembler for reinforced iron plates, but I've since changed that. And it has a buffer of 3 storage containers, just in case we overproduce. They'll get stored away, in case we need them for anything, for a bump in production. All right, this is where my assembler used to be at, but I've replaced it with a simple factory. So this is my encased steel beam factory. So it only does one thing. It only has one assembler up top there. And then it gets my concrete. So this is all my concrete production, just one miner. Don't really need more than that, even with all this foundations that I put down. So I have it so that it comes in through the wall. Splits between these 2 constructors. Then this splitter is set so that whenever I'm not making any, this machine's not pulling anything, the overflow will go into the storage. Which happens a lot actually. So we don't need any encased beams. We'll turn the power off, or we'll turn this off. Moving on. So my earlier base was up here, and I've since taken it all down. These 2 miners are the first miners that I started with, and they used to make my iron rods and plates. Then I had them doing screws for a while. Now, I got an alternate recipe so that I'm able to make steel on site, because I actually have a steel factory to my east, but now I can make steel on site as well. Steel factory. So get the input from these 2 miners, split it amongst the smelters. Does some extra fancy splitting to get this perfect. So it takes coal and steel. I get my coal trucked in. I'll show you the truck factory later. It's pretty impressive. And then more load balancing and stuff, so that I get, because the steel beams take 60 per minute, but the steel pipes take 30, so it gets split differently for that. And this is all maxed out when everything's turned on. And we keep just 1 stack of each, 1 storage container of each. The rest feeds into the lines going back to the main factory, to our copper factory. Copper factory is cool. It's one of the last ones we've built. It also does some pretty unique splitting. So it gets the iron ore from that miner. Single miner is enough to supply me with everything. Then it splits into 3 smelters. Which splits into copper sheet. So 1 smelter can provide enough for the copper sheet. So you see those were 20 per minute. So, oh, sorry, 2 smelters are enough to to do it. So it's 30 and 30, 60, and this is 20, 20, 20. That's 60. So that's all maximalized. These two that are back to back make cable. So it's wire, then cable, wire, then cable. And this last one is split into 2 wire instructors, and then the excess ingot gets sent into my aluminum factory that needs it. Made a cool roof that it looks like the smoke's coming out and stuff. So the aluminum also just passes straight through the building, goes up from the front all the way. So aluminum and copper is the input for this. This is where all my aluminum production goes. It's only 2 machines. So we're just making casing, and we don't have any right now. It's been shut off for a while. Don't really need any more. But casing and aluminum clad is built here. My Caterium factory, which right now it has this thing bugging out the side because I had some extra ingot and ore after I destroyed my first factory. So I wanted it to run through the machines. The way it works is ore is shipped through, well, ore is going to be shipped from way far away. So my ore comes from really far west on conveyor belts, and I'll hook that conveyor belt up to here. This will be gone. This will be the input. Splits into 3 smelters. Does some load balancing stuff here. And this all makes quick wire. It's all maxed out, I promise. And I made a nice little pass through when I just want to walk around. Usually I'll park a car right here maybe if I'm parking to get to my base. While I'm here, I made an insane organization system for all the items. Whenever I'm left over and want to clear my inventory, or if I just want to find something to build something, I'll put it in here or take it from here. Not all of them are actually marked, so these are just empty. But I wanted to kind of stick to the categories, and if I need more space to put a new item, I can use that. Let's go look at the surrounding support factories. So I have built this hypertube network to get me around. I'll just go left to right, I guess. So this is where I used to get. We're going to my steel mill. So it started off as the place that I needed to get steel from because it had coal and iron close together. So I used to have the coal and iron up here making pipes and beams, but now it's better organized into this factory that is also crazy load balanced. The load balancing on here is really one of the more complex ones that I've made. It is as efficient as possible, can keep the machines running all the time. I'm gonna have to walk back because I actually don't have the power going over here. And then back here I have a couple coal gens, and I just built these pipelines because I need to pull water from here and sulfuric acid I got going in a refinery for late game. And these remote facilities, since I'm having to package stuff, I have canisters coming into a truck station. So the truck will come in, drop the canisters off for them to be used by these packagers. This packager. And this packages up my water. And this other one packages up my sulfuric acid. So you can see what packaged water and sulfuric acid being fed into here. And then beams, steel beams and pipes being fed from the factory coming into the truck station, and this truck will go to my main factory. Speaking of power, I changed it to where I can control what's on from my home base. So I have like this one line will be the power for the steel mill, and then this other line will be the power coming from the coal generators over there. So, and these two lines never meet, never come together until over here in my power station. So all the power generation comes into this wall. So my coal generators, I have 3 sets of coal generators, and then I have fuel generators next to my refinery. They come into these main power poles and then get distributed out through different things. So if I want to put this power back on to my steel, be this guy. So now I have power out there, and but now I'm exceeding or I'm almost exceeding. A few machines kick on and it'll be over. So orange is how much I'm using, and gray is how much I'm producing. So very close. But I have my batteries charged up, so I'm not worried about turning everything on. So I'll do that. Just turn everything. All right, now I could actually use my hypertubes. So I also have my hypertubes coming out here, so that I can quickly put whatever I don't put away in those boxes up there that needs to be thrown away comes here to the trash, uh, which feeds into the awesome sink and gives me more points. So power station goes down to where we just were. Awesome sink. We have the iron to bring us back to the iron factory, and then we can go out from there. So once I started kind of once I unlocked the coal refinement, this is my first power plant. I started off with 3 coal generators, and I built a truck station because there is no coal around here, so my coal has to come from further down. And now I have 6 generators and some storage. Same thing over here. I added, I've, the coal comes from here, and there's also water, so I made some coal generators down there too. But I only had 3, and then I just recently added 3 more, so there's 6 there and 6 here, plus the 2 that were at the steel mill, so I have a total of 14 coal generators. This used to be a pain in the ass because you'd have to drive the truck on this narrow little thing, and I'd have to go back and forth so often. So I'm really happy to have these hypertubes. So these are the original coal generators, and then I got a little cleaner, putting a foundation, a little cleaner with the pipe work for the second set of generators. Yeah, not much else to see there. So we have a truck going. We have a truck that goes to that coal mine, grabs the coal, brings it to these generators over here, and then takes the rest to my home factory to supply the coal I need for to make steel over there. All right. So now this other tube goes all the way out to the refinery. It's gonna get dark, or it is dark. Hopefully, you'll still be able to see. Oh, the refineries. I have uh, one oil extractor or oil pulling crude, and I figured out that this is pulling out 120 crude oil, and these each take 30. So I got four of them running off of one thing, right? But then I have this extra one, and this extra one is taking the byproduct of making plastic is oil residue. So it takes that oil residue, feeds into here, and the oil residue can then be used as fuel. And the fuel goes back here, gets split into two generators, and also packaged for my trucks to use. So that this stays full of fuel, and then the rest gets shipped into my factory to keep all the other trucks full of fuel. Pretty nice that way. Right now, I mix these to produce rubber and plastic. So I think right now it's one rubber, three plastic, but I'll change that depending on my needs. But for electronics, you need a lot of plastic, so that's what you need early, late game, I guess. That's everything here. There's my truck going back and forth automatically. Truck takes a slightly different route. But with all this stuff like going in and out, like being shipped in, I needed a way to sort through everything kind of automatically. Like from that truck station, I have plastic, rubber, packaged fuel, um, all coming, all coming in, and it's that's just one place. Like I have more elsewhere. Let's see if you can see this. Well, let's save that for when the light's back on. Let's go look at where we get our quartz from, or where we get aluminum from. So this was hella far. Had to build a huge ramp to get up to. So the first thing I found over here was the quartz. And then it was kind of lucky that I found the other things later on and then just kind of combined them together. So I found bauxite for aluminum production deeper in the woods, and then a nitrogen gas had originally come through that way. So I didn't know how the hell I was going to get up here or what it looked like. Super, super far. Imagine I had to walk this over and over again and build this. So the first thing I did was I built a miner and some storage to just grab the quartz. Actually, it's still here. I don't need as much quartz, but I have it. So I was just letting it sit there, and then I was coming with a truck and emptying it out manually. Uh, but now they use the quartz in some of these constructors to make silica. Silica is an ingredient that I need to make aluminum, which is over here, aluminum scrap. And silica make aluminum ingot. The aluminum scrap is made up here, where the bauxite, where I found the bauxite. So originally it was just this conveyor belt, and I added this pipeline later because I actually need the alumina solution, the liquid part of the alumina, uh, for late game to make other stuff. So now I have that being packaged up. You see how freaking far this is. So I was lucky enough to find bauxite down here and coal. And I needed both to make this aluminum scrap. So I got the coal coming in. Got the coal coming from over there, single miner, just running down here. I also needed water. So I was lucky enough to get coal, water, and bauxite in a relatively close proximity. So I was able to make this. So I got the one refinery making alumina, two refineries making alumina. So it's I think that was just because that's how much I can pull from there. I got the extra silica going into an awesome sink because I didn't want to run it all the way down over there. And then this takes the aluminum solution and the coal and produces aluminum scrap. And it also has a byproduct of water, so I just take that water and feed it back to the machine again. So, so the byproduct of this circles back and helps me make more aluminum. I'm not going to walk down there, but there's a nitrogen being pressurized out of the ground from there, coming through the pipeline and getting packaged up here, making nitrogen gas. Then I figured I need a truck station. The truck station was originally just for the aluminum. Then I started making nitrogen gas, so that got added in, and then I started making, I started packaging the alumina for late game. so that I'll have alumina unpacking at my main facility to make some of the late game components. Bam. Now let's look at the main factory. The main factory is the craziest part. It's still a little messy, and I think I'm just gonna leave it that way because it gets the job done. It's very functional that way, and it's very complex. Go to the main factory. Bam. Right through the floor. All right, we're here. We're here at where things get sorted, or where things get provided to the machines. This is the real mess and spaghetti of the whole thing. Each of them have icons to show me what's in these things, and then they get taken through the floor or around the building or however I can manage to get them up to all the assemblers and machines upstairs. And then some of them are actually coming back down. So I mapped this out kind of. I knew that like iron plates go into making like reinforced iron plates go into making smart plating. So I got reinforced iron plates and stators, wait, and rotors go into making smart plates. But then rotors are also used to make motors. So motors are made right here. Well, motors need stators. So stators are made back here. But stators are also used to make automated wiring. So stators get fed into there as well. Uh, and what else? That's three. Oh, right. Reinforced plates also go into here to make what? Modular frames. So modular frames take this as well. Modular frames go into making heavy modular frames. So they actually go down through the floor and back out into here. So you can kind of see how like these machines just start like feeding into each other. Oh, yeah, they get like computers and so AI limiters. Like AI limiters are made back here. It gets fed into a container down here. That container goes to the manufacturer. All the like sorting, like some of the stuff gets made up here, gets brought down to a storage container and then reused. It sums up. Well, let's go through like what's being. So I have an alternate recipe for computers. So I got two computer manufacturers. The other one being over here. And that feeds into this, making supercomputers. I got my modular engine factory, which takes the smart plating from here. So the smart plating goes down into a container and back up through here. It takes takes motors, which do the same thing. Motors go down there and then come right back up. They also have their own storage. Then we got heavy modular frames, I've already shown. High-speed connectors so high-speed connectors take circuit boards, computers take circuit boards. So the circuit boards are the first line here. Come from circuit boards. Circuit boards go into those two things. And use that to segue into the sorting facility. So the circuit boards come from the mega sorter that I built. What I used to do though is the circuit boards actually come from here. So this one's making circuit boards. So it used to go down through the floor and then feed back into that belt and then feed the container. Well, now I have it going to my crazy sorter. So this takes everything that's being manufactured elsewhere and feeds it into the sorter. So all the copper stuff that I have being made off site, these steel beams being made right there, it's all merged into here, into this one line. So my modular frames also coming in to get fed into here. And then I got, then it gets kind of crazy. Then I got all the stuff coming from the trucks gets split. So I got fuel coming from the trucks. It's split into both stations so that these always have fuel. So this is going to be my late game station where I put in the ingredients I need to go out to my final factory that I'm going to build. This is my main station that receives stuff. And that goes into this first splitter. And the start of my auto sorter. So each one of these splitters is taking one item and putting it into these things, these storage things. And then the storage is feeding the rest of the machines. There's a lot of them. So I can put just about anything into the start of this sorter and it'll get automatically sorted out, which I like. It's pretty good. And that's it. Love of nature keeps no factories busy. Yeah, I've shown everything, right? Cool.